Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 11, verse 41. We'll be starting our reading from Mukam Karoti Vachalam, Pangum Langhayate Girin, Yat Kripatamham Vande, Shri Gurum Deenatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram, Hari Om Tat Sat. महाभागवत श्रेष्ठ दत्ता उदाहरण सर्वभावे सेवे नित्यानंदेरा चरण. Udharana Datta Thakur, the 11th among the 12 cowherd boys, was an exalted devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda in all respects. Purport Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, the Gora Ganudesha Deepika 1-9, states that Udharan Datta Thakur was formerly the cowherd boy of Vrindavan named Subahu. Udharan Datta Thakur, previously known as Sri Udharana Datta, was a resident of Saptagram, which is situated on the bank of the Saraswati river near the Trishbigha railway station in the district of Hooghly. At the time of Udharan Thakur, Saptagram was a very big town encompassing many other places such as Vasudevpura, Banshabedia, Krishnapura, Nityanandapura, Shivpura, Shankhanagar and Saptagram. Calcutta was developed under, now it's called Kolkata as we all know, developed under British rule by the influential mercantile community and especially by the Suvarna Vanik community who came down from Saptagram to establish their businesses and homes all over Calcutta. They were known as the Saptagrami mercantile community of Calcutta, and most of them belonged to the Malik and Sil families. More than half of Calcutta belonged to this community, as did Srila Udharan Thakur. Our paternal family also came from this district, Prabhupada is saying here in the purport, and belonged to the same community. The Maliks of Calcutta are divided into two families, namely the Sil family and Day family. All the Maliks of the Day family originally belong to the same family and Gotra. We also formally belong to the branch of the Day family, whose members intimately connected with the Muslim rulers received the title Malik. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat Antekhanda chapter 5, it is said that Udharan Datta was an extremely elevated and liberal Vaishnav. He was born with the right to worship Nityananda Prabhu. It is also stated that Nityananda Prabhu, after staying for some time in Khardah, came to Saptagram and stayed there in the house of Udharan Datta. The Suvarna Vanik community to which Udharan Datta belonged was actually a Vaishnava family. Its members were bankers and gold merchants. Suvarna means gold and Vanik means merchant. And we know, as in Hindi we call Baniya. The merchants are called Baniya in the local languages. Long ago, there was a misunderstanding between the Balal Sena and Suvarna Vanik community because of the great banker Gauri Sena. Balal Sena was taking loans from Gauri Sen and spending money extravagantly, and therefore Gauri Sen stopped supplying money. Balal Sen took revenge by instigating a social conspiracy to take the Suvarna Vanik's outcasts, and since then they have been ostracized from the higher castes, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. But by the grace of Srila Nityananda Prabhu, the Suvarna Vanik community was again elevated. It is said in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Yatek Vanik Kula Udharan Haite Pavitra Haila Dvidha Naika Ihate. Or is it Ihate or is Ihate? I'm not sure about the pronunciation here. There is no doubt that all the community members of the Suvarna Vanik society were again purified by Sri Nityananda Prabhu. In Saptagram here is still a temple with 6-armed deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that was personally worshipped by Srila Udharan Datta Thakur. On the right side of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a deity of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and on the left side is Gadadhar Prabhu. There are also Radha Govinda Murti and Shalagram Shila, and below the throne is a picture of Sri Udharan Datta Thakur. In front of the temple, there is now a big hall, and in front of the hall is Madhavi Lata plant. The temple is in a very shady, cool, and nicely situated location. When we returned from America in 1967, Prabhupada is saying here, the executive committee members of this temple invited us to visit it, and thus we had the opportunity to visit the temple with some American students. Formerly in our childhood, we visited this temple with our parents because all the members of the Suvarnavanik community enthusiastically take interest in the temple of Udharan Datta Thakur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur adds in his Anubhashya in the Bengali year 1283 AD 1876, Babaji of the name Nitai Das arranged for a donation of 12 bighas of land, which is about 4 acres, for the temple where Udharan Datta Thakur worshipped. The management of the temple later deteriorated, but then in 1306, which is 1899 AD, through the cooperation of the famous Balaram Malik of Hooghly, who was sub-judge, who was the of Udharan Datta Thakur in the temple, but that murti is no longer there. At present, a picture of Udharan Datta Thakur is worshipped. It is understood, however, that the wooden murti of Udharan Thakur was taken away by Srimad Madan Mohan Datta and is now being worshipped with the Shalagram Shila by Srinath Datta. Udharan Datta Thakur was the manager of the estate of a big zamindar in Naihati, about 1.5 miles north of Katwa. The relics of this royal family are still visible near the Dainhat station. Since Udharan Datta Thakur was the manager of the estate, it was also known as Udharanpura. Udharan Datta Thakur installed Nitai Kaura deities that were later brought to the house of the zamindar, which was known as Vana Oya Ribada. Srila Udharan Datta Thakur remained a householder throughout his life. His father's name was Shrikar Datta, his mother's name was Bhadravati, and his son's name was Srinivas Datta. Now we proceed to verse number 42. Acharya Vaishwanananda Bhakti Adhikari Purve Namat Shila Yandra Raghunath Puri. The 27th prominent devotee of Nityananda Prabhu was Acharya Vaishnavananda, a great personality in devotional service. He was formerly known as Raghunath Puri. In the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika 97, it is said that Raghunath Puri was previously very powerful in the 8 mystic successes. He was an incarnation of one of the successes. Verse number 43. Vishnu Das Nandana Ganga Das Teen Bhai Purve Yanra Ghare Chila, or is it Shila? I think it's Chila Thakur Nitai. I'll have to ask somebody what's the correct pronunciation when it is CH in Bengali here. Is it Ch or is it Sh or is it Ch? Could be Chila or could be Chila. Another important devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu was Vishnu Das, who had 2 brothers, Nandana and Gangadas. Lord Nityananda Prabhu sometimes stayed at their house. The 3 brothers, Vishnu Das, Nandana and Gangadas, were residents of Navadvip and belonged to the Bhattacharya Brahman family. Both Vishnu Das and Gangadas stayed for some time with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. And the Chaitanya Bhagavat states that formerly Nityananda Prabhu stayed at their house. Verse 44, Nityananda Bhritya Paramananda Upadhyay Shri Jiva Pandita Nityananda Guna Gai. Paramananda Upadhyay was Nityananda Prabhu's great servitor. Shri Jiva Pandit glorified the qualities of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. Shri Paramananda Upadhyay was an advanced devotee. His name is mentioned in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Sri Jiva Pandit is also mentioned as the second son of Ratnagarbha Acharya and a childhood friend of Hadai Oja, the father of Nityananda Prabhu. So, Hadai Oja was the father of Nityananda Prabhu, like Jagannath Mishra was the father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika 169, it is said that Sri Jeev Pandit was formerly the gopi named Indira. Verse 45, Paramananda Gupta Krishna Bhakta Mahamati Purve Yanra Ghare Nityanandera Vasati. The 31st devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu was Paramanand Gupta, who was greatly devoted to Lord Krishna and highly advanced in spiritual consciousness. Formerly Nityananda Prabhu also resided at his house for some time. Purport, Paramananda Gupta composed a prayer to Lord Krishna known as Krishna Sattavavali. In the Gaura Ganudesh Deepika 194 and 199, it is stated that he was formerly the gopi named Manju Medha. Verse 46, Narayana Krishna Das R. Manohara Devananda Chari Bhai Nitai Kinkara. The 32nd, 33rd, 34th and 35th prominent devotees were Narayan, Krishna Das, Manohar and Devanand, who always engaged in the service of Lord Nityanand. Verse number 47, Oda Krishna Das Nityananda Prabhu Pran Nityananda Pada Vinu Nahi Jane An. The 36th devotee of Lord Nityananda was Hoda Krishna Das, whose life and soul was Nityananda Prabhu. He was always dedicated to the lotus feet of Nityananda and he knew no one else but him. The residence of Krishna Das Hoda was Badagachi, which is now in Bangladesh. Verse 48 of the 11th chapter of the Adi Lila of the Chaitanya Charitamrita now. Nakadi Mukunda Surya Madhava Sridhara Ramananda Vasu Jagannath Mahidhar. Among the Lord Nityananda's devotee, Nakadi was the 37th, Mukunda the 38th, Surya the 39th, Madhav the 40th, Sridhar the 41st, Ramanand the 42nd, Jagannath the 43rd, and Mahidhar the 44th. Purport, Sridhar was the 12th Gopal. Verse 49, Srimant Gokul Das Hari Harananda Shivai Nandai Avadhut Paramananda. Srimant was the 45th, Gokul Das the 46th, Hari Haranand the 47th, Shivai the 48th, Anandai the 49th, and Paramanand the 50th. Verse 50, Vasant Navani Hoda Gopala Sanatan Vishnay Hajra Krishnananda Sulochan. Vasant was the 51st, Navami Hoda the 52nd, Gopal the 53rd, Sanatan the 54th, Vishnay the 55th, Krishnananda the 56th, and Sulochan the 57th. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Navani Hoda appears to have been the same person as Hoda Krishnadas, the son of King of Badagachi. His father's name was Hari Hoda. One can visit Badagachi by taking the Lal Gola Ghat railways line. Formerly the Ganges flowed by Badagachi, but now it has become a canal known as Kali Shir Khal near the Mudagacha station is a village known as Shaligram, in which King Krishnadas arranged for the marriage of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. As described in the Bhakti Ratnakar 12th wave, it is sometimes said that Navani Hoda was the son of Raja Krishnadas. His descendants still live in Rukunpura, a village near Bahiragachi. They belong to the Dakshin Radhiya Kayast community, but having been reformed as Brahmins, they still initiate all classes of men. So we will begin reading again next time from verse 51 of the 11th chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you for joining. Wish you all a very blissful weekend ahead. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.